Hello and welcome to Backstage Buzz, where you get the inside story on upcoming events at the MAC and around the community. In a little while, I'll chat with Debra Vaccaro about an upcoming exhibit from Elmhurst Artists Guild called Inspired by Warhol. Then I'll share a recap from our recent For the Love of Warhol gala. But first, I'm happy to welcome Amelia Barrett, who is here to tell us more about College Theater's production of The Uninvited. Welcome, Amelia.
Thank you.
So, can you tell everybody about what the show's about, just a little?
So, if you were going to do a film of this play, it would be film noir.
Okay.
And it's a ghost story, and it was actually one of the first ghost story movies that they ever made. Everyone thinks, if you read the lore of it, that was extremely frightening. But I think now, today, in 2023, while we're going to do it in period, so we're sitting in 1935, it is unnerving, but to me it's more of a love story. And it's a love story of these ghosts that love this girl.
Okay.
That was their daughter. And she loves her mother. And so they're being put at peace, and she's being put at peace. And the house can't be put at peace until everything is settled. So it is a ghost story, but I think it's a love story too.
But it's not scary?
Well,
is it scary or no?
It's not like scary, like terrifying. It's scary, like unnerving.
Okay.
Because things
suspenseful?
Suspenseful.
Okay.
And you don't know where things are coming from, and is that your imagination, and what's that smell, and what's that out of the corner of my eye? But you never really see anything.
So how big is a cast?
What do I have? 11.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And it's in 1935.
1935.
And so, what, is it about a girl? Is it about the parents?
So
is it about their death? Or?
It's a little bit of all of it. It's sort of this really well-made play from. It was based on a novel, and it takes place in the English seaside. And a sort of bon vivant literary critic and his sister, who's gutsy, decide that they want to move from London to the seaside. So they've been looking and they can't afford anything, and they find this incredible place for like no money, and they can't figure out why. So they befriend this young girl, and it was her family's home. They've had it for 5 generations, and she's been forbid to come into this place by her grandfather because
it's haunted.
It's haunted. And so she takes them, and they fall in love with it immediately, and they settle.
So she goes in?
She goes in.
Okay.
And she keeps visiting.
Oh, even when the new people live there?
Yes, and they become friends.
It's like that new TV show. What's that new TV series about this haunted house these people buy, and,
I don't know.
It's a nightmare. It's interesting. Was this ever a TV series by chance?
No, but it was a movie.
Okay.
With Ray Milland.
Because people have told me, I've seen the movie, I love the movie, I can't wait to see this.
It's wonderful.
So I need to watch the movie. And
it's the kind of old time film and plays that I love. I mean, it's just super well made. It's 3 acts, and there's a beginning, a middle, and end, and they have a seance, and they have an actress that's a friend of theirs who gets possessed, and then they have a friend who's a painter, and they have an Irish sort of like, it's their maid, but she's like their nanny that takes care of them.
I have to ask, because you were an actress, if you could play any part, which one would you play?
Oh, I would play always the evil. Always the evil.
Really?
Yes, they're the most fun.
So who's the evil?
So there's this woman that was sort of insinuating that she was best friends with her mother. And when her mother passed away, which I'm not giving anything away, it's pretty soon into the play that you find that out, took care of the young girl whose name is Stella.
Okay.
And it's clear that this woman doesn't really like Stella. and she has a rest home of some kind that she wants to take her off to, like an asylum kind of thing. So that's totally who I would play.
That's fun. I wish you would do a show again. You're so good.
Thank you.
Are you going to do a show again?
Someday.
Someday?
Someday.
And then what else do you have planned for College Theater that's happening?
So we have Curious Incident of the Dog of the Nighttime that's about to open this week on Thursday, for 3 weeks. And that's lovely, and we're doing that in the Studio Theater. And then Uninvited will open right after spring break. And then we'll have auditions in April for the summer. So we're doing Once Upon a Mattress, which is
Fabulous.
a great, like, late 1950s play, musical.
Didn't Sarah Jessica Parker star in
In
it?
the revival, like 1995 or something like that.
So I saw it on Broadway with her, not knowing that was her.
Because she transformed that much?
She did, and then halfway into it, I'm like, I know her. I know the
She
voice.
looks
I know the
familiar.
something, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you know?
Didn't she get her start in Annie? I think she's like a big musical theater person.
Oh, she is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I always remember like the Carol Burnett special from when I was little that they had, like, I don't know, in black and white on Channel 9 or something.
I love that show. It's very funny.
It is very funny, and it's real girl power. So we're doing that. And
that will be this year in the Belushi, in the big theater, which will be fun.
That'll be awesome for them.
And the auditions, if anybody in the community, so I don't think everybody understands how this works. Anybody can be in the show. You can audition if you're sitting at home and you're really have the theater bug and always wanted to be in a show. And then if you get cast, then you just have to sign up for the class.
Right.
Because it is a class.
The production itself is a class, and it's called rehearsal and performance because
That's all it is.
You rehearse and you perform, and all of the things that go on with that, particularly in a musical.
And do you have to take a test?
No.
Okay. So
Well, you have to audition. That, I guess, is a test.
But you don't have to like study or take a test. You just have to be a good actor.
Yeah, and you have to know your lines and your choreography,
Right.
the music.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of extra work for a musical, a lot of extra work for a straight show too.
Sure.
Like Uninvited, they're having to do
But
all
it's
sorts
about
of
being an
dialect.
actor in a show.
Right, and learning all that stuff.
But I think sometimes people think it's just for the students and anybody can audition for this.
Yes, and then you are a student because you have to sign up for the class.
Right.
And we do that during the year too. And then if you're somebody who's younger than 16, you can apply for early admission and be in the show.
Oh, really? Oh, well, yeah, Christmas Carol.
And well, those kids didn't even have to do that.
So do they get credit?
In fact, we've met a lot of our students later that started off when they were juniors in high school or seniors in high school and came and auditioned for either the family show, which is our improv show that Daniel Millhouse is directing, called, oh shoot, I looked at it before I came in. Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow.
Okay.
About the tortoise and the hare, which tours all over the county for families. And but we've had high school students in those shows or in the musical. I think last year I had 2 or 3.
Good.
And it's a wonderful experience. The kids become so close. I shouldn't say kids. The students become so close with each other. You spend so many hours together too, creating this wonderful thing. And so, I mean, it's a really positive experience.
It is. And I think sometimes there's a lot of people in the community who would love to perform. And you get to perform on great sets with beautiful costumes, and you have a really good experience. And it's a way to get involved.
It's a wonderful way to get involved. And you wouldn't believe how many people you get to know then. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, so many people, well, because they see you too. You know, you go to the grocery store and they're like, hey, I saw you and blah, blah, blah. Or like people wave to you, like, I wonder how I know you, I don't know. But they know you. They feel like they spent time with you. And when we had 2 students that are high school students that were in SpongeBob, the musical last summer, and they came to see Christmas Carol just to support because they were home for Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
I know. So it wasn't just that one show. Now they're part of the community.
Well, and I think too, if you do have a junior or senior who likes to perform and they didn't get in their high school show or something, it's a great way to transition into college and get to know some people. Because they really are a family. Those kids are tight.
They are very tight. And I always kid around with them because it's a commuter school. So I'm like, of course you're hanging out here because you're not going to drive an hour to go to someone else's house who lives an hour that way.
Right.
So all of the extra time they spend here is creating community. So, and then when you transfer into your 4-year university, look at the great things that you're bringing on your resume.
Exactly.
Which a lot of those native students, maybe, sorry everybody, wouldn't have because you were a freshman or a sophomore auditioning.
It's true.
Against, seniors, and so you wouldn't get those roles that you got here, and now you're bringing them there.
And I think, our students do really well. Our theater students do very well.
Yes,
We've had a lot of success.
They transfer very well because, pat us on the back that I feel like we have terrific adjunct professors and really good, full-time faculty that are that are training them from the get-go and really say, this is it. And who love them. Yeah. There's I ran into somebody yesterday that had been a former student of mine who now has kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, I guess it's been a long time that I've been here now. But I mean, I see everybody in the community. Well, I teach 150 people a semester, so I go to Home Depot.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing and letting us know. It's very exciting.
It is.
Be sure to catch the Uninvited opening April 6th. For tickets or more information, visit atthemac.org. New Philharmonic brings Broadway to the Belushi stage on April 15th and 16th with a concert performance of South Pacific starring baritone Nathan Gunn. You won't want to miss the incredible guest vocalists and our live symphonic orchestra as they perform the Tony Award-winning music of this beloved classic. For tickets and more information, visit atthemac.org or stop by the box office or call 630-942-4000. I'm happy to welcome Debra Vaccaro to the show, who is here to share more about Inspired by Warhol, an exhibit coming soon from the Elmhurst Artists Guild. Welcome, Debra.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, and I love your shirt.
Thank you.
Show it off.
Well, it's our logo for Inspired by Warhol, our show that opens June 11th until July 28th at the Elmhurst Art Museum. That's where our guild is located. And we're having a big opening reception on June 23rd, and it's going to be disco theme.
Fun.
Yep, we're going to have a red carpet entry with Polaroid photographers, selfie walls, disco music, all kinds of fun.
Well, I went to your Frida party, and you sure pulled out all the stops.
And we're hoping to make it even bigger and better.
Awesome.
Yes.
How many artists are in your guild? So I'm going to give everybody out there a little snapshot. So I went to the Frida show that they had, and I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. And it is a community of artists that are professional artists in the area.
Professional, hobbyist. We have some members that our president lives in Valparaiso, Indiana. We have members in Arlington, Aurora, and the local.
So all over.
All over, yes.
But the quality is very high.
It has grown. It is amazing, yes.
And so all these artists submit, and then it's juried, correct?
This show will be juried. Our member shows are not, but we still have judges and monetary prizes. This one's going to be juried. We're accepting 54 pieces to honor Studio 54.
Oh, fun.
Yes, and the top 4 prizes get a monetary prize as well as partnering with you, tickets to the Andy Warhol Life and Pop. And I'm so excited to announce that our judge for Inspired by Warhol is contemporary Chicago artist Kelly Matthews from Stola Art Gallery.
Nice.
It's going to be so much fun having her bring that vibrant Chicago scene to the suburbs. Her input and dialogue about the artist's work will be beneficial to the artist as well as the public there. And the other thing that the artists have to do besides their work is to present an artist statement which will be displayed with their work. I think that's going to give a more in-depth what the artist is trying to convey.
Well, and it helps you connect to the piece, you know, when you read that. I really think it makes a difference.
And it lets you look at it first how you interpret it, and then when you see what the artist was trying to convey, and maybe you agree and maybe you disagree, and yeah, it's very interesting.
So the Artists Guild is housed in the Elmhurst Art Museum.
Correct.
However, you are very supportive of the museum, and your guild helps to support the museum, correct?
Yes. And well, we just gave them a monetary amount to help with the HVAC system. That was a decision our board had made. We work together. You know, it takes time to build a team like that gets along. John McKinnon is wonderful, and they're bringing in some great shows with Marvelocity.
Yes, so Marvelocity is another pop art show that's really fantastic that will be here. The Summer Warhol's here.
Correct.
And we've talked to John and said, you have a great pop art show, we have a great pop art show. How do we cross-pollinate our audiences? So if you bring your ticket stub from Elmhurst Art Museum, you'll get a discount at our Warhol show and vice versa. Correct. Because we want to really try to grow both of our audiences.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly. And they're starting off with, well, first they're parading in the St. Patrick's Day Parade wearing capes to start off the whole series. And then Art in the Park is run by the Elmhurst Art Museum. Our guild is going to have a table there and do a Warhol print workshop for kids.
Oh, nice.
We're also getting together with, partnering with Brew Point Coffee in Elmhurst. They're helping us come up with a chocolate coffee for a fundraiser to help defray defray our printing costs. They're very big in community involvement, so we're going to have a soup can food drive for the Elmhurst Yorkfield Food Pantry, giving back to the community. I've told my team, the community supports us, we need to support them.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's very, very exciting.
We just did a food drive here in Glen Ellen, and we used a big soup can barrel, and
yes,
I was surprised at how much we got,
yes,
and that people thought it was fun.
Yes.
And I think, like you said, the arts support, the community supports the arts, and we do have to find ways to give back.
Right.
And it makes me so happy to collaborate with you, because I really admire your spirit, your grit, your push to make it perfect and awesome. And we met last summer.
Yes.
And I'm just so happy. It's fun to see everybody taking it in their own way, helping their own community, helping their own museums.
It's a time of great need. Even though Elmhurst is a pretty wealthy community, there are
need.
hidden people in need.
Well, DuPage County, I'm on the board for the DuPage Foundation. And I think a lot of people think, well, DuPage County is a very well-off community. There is a substantial population that is under the poverty line,
yes,
and of kids who need help and assistance. And so it's good to keep talking about it and to keep reminding people that, there's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, but there is help needed.
Right.
You also do something that I think is, on a personal level, phenomenal. And that is your cool coats for kids.
Oh, warm coats for cool kids.
I kind of had it right.
Don't make me cry. Yes, my husband and I started, thank you, started this organization because he worked at the food pantry and he saw the need in Elmhurst and the surrounding communities. So we started it with our own funds. We bought the first 950 coats. And last year we worked very hard to build up fundraising. We raised over $67,000. We had a DuPage Foundation grant, which we're applying for again this year. We had a grant from 100 plus Women Who Care, and we were able to give away 1,780 coats this year to all the surrounding DuPage communities, as well as Cook County, Bellwood, Berkeley. So it's been wonderful.
You do
and
great
to see
work.
the little faces on these kids, because coats are expensive. They're super expensive, and that gives the parents the chance to take that money that they had to buy 4 coats for kids to put towards food or insurance or
heat.
Whatever. Yes.
So what she and her husband do is they buy a bunch of coats, but they work with the schools to find out where the need is. And the best part about this is they bring the rack of coats to the school and let the kids pick out their own coats. So it's like and they're all new coats or very gently used, but
99%
are new. Because I see you on Facebook like, I found a sale and I got 20 coats for $20. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you can't sit in our living room right now.
Is it full of coats?
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning that. It's very dear to our hearts.
Well, it's a wonderful, wonderful cause. If anybody wanted to support warm coats for cool kids,
they just have to Google that, and we have a website. If you Google us on Google Maps, it'll take you right to our house, and all our information is on there.
And you are an official
we are a 501c3. We are. Yep.
And I've seen the pictures of the kids getting the coats all over, and it's you guys put a lot of time into this.
We do, and we have a good group of volunteers. The schools also give us volunteers because sometimes there's a language barrier with English as a second language, and it's been really.
How do you sort? Where do you keep them all?
We have a generous benefactor who gave us space in his huge garage.
Nice.
And rent-free, and so we keep them there because the first year you couldn't walk through my house. We had to find somewhere else to put them. So now we have a sorting area. So we pick coats. We bought these big bags from Amazon, and we'll pick the order, and then the next day we just got to put them in the van, get them there. We've taught our volunteers this is how you sort them, lay them out, and then they take a child and shop in their size, and they could pick from 3, 4, 5 coats. Yeah, and we make sure it fits them, it zips, they have to put their hands over their head, give a little hug, and yeah, it's wonderful.
Just like a mom would do.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for what you're doing for all the kids in DuPage County. That's truly, truly a gift.
Thank you.
You're a special lady.
Thank you for mentioning us.
You can learn more about Inspired by Warhol at the Elmhurst Artists Guild.org. Come support our College of DuPage music program at these upcoming music concerts. DuPage Community Concert Band will perform entertaining music for all audiences on March 13th. Then come and enjoy an evening of music featuring a wide range of works performed by string and wind players, percussionists, jazz musicians, and singers at the Student Ensemble Concert on March 15th. Be sure to see College Theater's bone-chilling, exciting ghost story, The Uninvited. Performances run April 6th through 16th. For tickets and more information, visit atthemac.org or stop by the box office or call 630-942-4000. We recently had a gala to help fund our Andy Warhol exhibition coming this summer. And the name of the gala was called A Night at Studio 54. And it was actually done by the College of DuPage Foundation in partnership with us. And they are helping us to raise funds for the major exhibition fund at College of DuPage. And all of these funds are going to help us to keep ticket prices affordable. It'll help sponsor discounted tickets for school groups and seniors. And it will also help us to present our Andy Warhol portfolios, A Life in Pop. And it features 94 works from the Bank of America collection. So this gala was really awesome. And it was on Saturday, February 18th, and we had it at Esplanade Lakes in Downers Grove. And the venue is a gorgeous glass round ballroom. And so people came in, and there was a cocktail party outside prior, and it was kind of a pop art theme for the cocktail party. And we had an artist, Louis Achenbach, who did a live painting for the auction. And the evening started at 6, and we had a cocktail reception. And so many came clad in their disco finest, and they mixed and mingled, and they enjoyed a Studio 54 inspired bourbon drink that was provided by Whiskey Acres. And then they were able to bid on over 70 of the most amazing silent auction prizes you've ever seen. For instance, the City of Lisle gave us a prize that was 3 baskets large, filled with gift certificates and Warhol-themed merchandise from their stores. There was everything from overnights to dinners downtown to theater tickets. It was just phenomenal. And then Andy Warhol and his entourage made a surprise appearance at the cocktail party. And they started blowing whistles and ushering all 350 guests into the Studio 54 inspired round glass ballroom. And it was just kind of a fun, crazy episode where all these characters came barreling into the party and blowing whistles saying, let's get this party started. And as the guests got seated, we had Alberto Arias dancers who did this beautiful Warhol fashion-inspired dance to kick off the night. Then everybody had a lovely dinner with salad, and it was a double-plated entree of filet and salmon. And then Executive Director of the College of DuPage Foundation, Karen Kuhn, thanked our gala chair, Marcy Peterson, and the amazing committee for all of their work. The committee included Sharon D'Alessandro, Kim Dorn, Amy Fries, Jamina Ivory, Janie Oldfield, Marianne Klang, Karen Kuhn, Nancy Lair, Paul Piersick, Barb Ryman, and Renee Richards, and me. And then following dinner, guests were treated to an overview of what to expect at the exhibition this summer. And our curator of the Cleve Carney Museum, Justin Whitty, kind of gave a sneak peek into what you're going to see while you're here, with a biographical area and over 94 original Warhols and 150 original Warhol photographs that he took himself, in addition to a Silver Clouds exhibit and an outdoor experience. So Justin gave everybody a little inside peek to what it's going to look like this summer. And then I got to share about all the exciting events that are coming this summer. We have the most amazing speaker lineup, from Eric Shiner, who was the curator of the Warhol Museum, to one of Andy Warhol's personal assistants and friends, Joseph Freeman, to author Blake Gopnik, who wrote the biography about Andy Warhol. And then we also have a new special friend to the MAC, Thomas Kiedrowski. And I took his walking tour with him when I was in New York, and he wrote a book called Andy Warhol's New York. And Thomas Kiedrowski and I will be doing a talk on Andy Warhol's New York and all the great places Andy used to go with lots of stories. So after we talked about that, COD Foundation Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Walter Johnson, stepped into the spotlight to lead the paddle raise and a live auction for wonderful trips to Vail and to Palm Springs and to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we raised a great deal of money from very generous guests at the party. And then the evening wrapped up with a jaw-dropping, authentic performance by a Cher tribute artist. Her name is Lisa McLowry. And her dancers loved her so much that they were rehearsing in the back while we were eating dinner, and they joined her back out, and they did a dance while she performed. And she did several costume changes. She was just phenomenal, and the crowd absolutely loved her. And then afterward, the crowd got to do their own disco moves out on the dance floor. But we had some really lovely touches on the table I wanted to share. Our culinary students made this beautiful little box of homemade chocolate and lemon truffles. So every guest got to go home with a beautiful truffle, which I would love to eat right now, but I have to give this back. And then one of our guests gave a donation so that every guest could leave with this beautiful, adorable Warhol. It's a flexible cutting board. Kathy and Ken Reich donated these for the gala. And it's a Warhol inspired the cows, and people got to choose from several different patterns. So it was really a lovely night. And we thank everybody who attended and supported the event. The gala really got us all excited about the exhibition coming this summer. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, make sure to get your tickets now. There's so many exciting things that will be happening this summer. You can get your tickets at themac.org, or you can go to warhol2023.org. And if you want to follow all the exciting things happening with Warhol this summer all throughout DuPage County, follow us on Facebook at Warhol2023 or on Instagram at the Cleve Carney Museum of Art. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the theater and next time on Backstage Buzz.